gnarly, destroyed tissue, unfortunately, most of the time you can't put that back together. Oh, nice. If you take a gunshot wound to the arm, wrapping it up could help the bleeding, but if you destroy the bone, it's going to be weak, obviously. Snow is ice, right? If you put ice on it, it's just going to make it feel better. It's not going to stop what already occurred. So, massive explosion. You can have barotrauma to your ears. You see if one of the guys fall over or bend over because of pain to his ears. You can rupture your eardrums in that type of setting, and then obviously any shrapnel devices that you get hit in your skin. You get a health kit to repair any injuries. Depends on what type of injuries you have, but do it where you're not going to get injured again, right? It looks like he bandaged up his right arm. If he's bleeding, it'll stop the bleeding. Pretty much all that bandage that end up going to be doing. Bandaging up the arm and saying, okay. If you take a gunshot wound to the arm, one, depending on the caliber of the bullet, always depends on how much damage that you're going to have. It can hit the tissue and bounce off and go up the arm. It can be embedded, it can go through and through. Most of the time it's tissue injury, sometimes it hits the blood vessels, and then sometimes it just destroys the bone. So wrapping it up could help the bleeding, but if you destroy the bone, it's going to be weak, obviously.
Yes, boy!
Oh. Okay, you're breaking through that right leg. That's pretty grotesque. And you're squirting out blood, arterial bleeding, right? Venous blood doesn't do that. Yeah, it's pretty intense and grotesque, and now the guy's actually watching. Big amputations like that are super clean, can potentially be put back together, but when they're gnarly, destroyed tissue, unfortunately, most of the time you can't put that back together. You have to be able to put back blood vessels attaching, bone attaching, nerves attaching. Oh, right in the arm. Okay, arrows, he's getting impaled. So first off, to be able to rip that out that easily, it's not, because it's going to get stuck on your tissue. Now, can you do this? You can. If you try to pull out an object, you might be ripping through tissue and causing more damage. Outside of the situation where you're in the wilderness and you have nothing else that you can do, you should shorten the impaled object so you're not hanging out with this massively long spear out of your body. If you're out in the field and it's a survival moment, if you got to pull it out, you can pull it out, but then you have to worry about the wound that you have. So you got to make sure it doesn't get infected, and you have to control bleeding. Oh, all right. Ow, you kind of burn your hand with a knife. It's steel. Put your hand in the snow, it's okay. Perfect. So snow is ice, right? The burn has already occurred. In this instance, it was burned by a piece of metal. Remove the metal, the burn's now stopped. The burn has already occurred, the injury has already occurred. If you spill hot oil or hot water, you gotta get that hot substance off, because until you get it off, it's still burning. But then once it's off, the burning is done. So if you put ice on it, it's just gonna make it feel better. It's not gonna stop what already occurred. That now your body has to just heal itself. And then depending on how deep the burn is, depends on the treatment. First degree burn will heal on its own, doesn't break the skin. A second degree burn, there's multiple levels of that, but that's when you get the blister and it hurts a lot. Third degree burn doesn't hurt anymore. You've burned away the blood vessels, you've burned away the cutaneous nerves. So now it's like white, black, leathery, uncomfortable. And that actually will never heal until you have a skin graft. Ooh, I wouldn't want to be battling that guy. Looks like he stepped on a stone or hit the ground and caused himself to restore his power. Obviously, crushing a stone in real life, we don't have that sort of things. But are there different minerals that occur in rocks and stones? Absolutely. And could they rebalance our body? Sure. Again, just not as fast as they would in a video game. But they do have probably some properties that are helpful in going into our bodies. Yes, it's fantastic. So there's something out there, obviously, called the placebo effect, basically giving you a medication that you believe will help you, or a treatment that you believe will help you. There's huge research and studies out there that show the positive effects that if you believe that you will get better, majority of the time, you're gonna get better. If you believe something is working, it will work. From a doctor's standpoint, I cannot give somebody, say it's one thing when it's something else. I'm doing a disservice to my patient and pretty much illegal. But if somebody believes that their medications or their supplements or their food is going to heal them, and it heals them, perfect. Pain pills, they work. There's a ton of different types of pain medications out there. We got Tylenol, ibuprofen, and then there's the next level of like Tylenol number 3 with codeine. They all work differently on our bodies, and there are different means to make us feel better. Max Payne took some pain medications at the gym that he got. So 600 milligrams, that's probably ibuprofen, most likely. So you pick up ibuprofen at the grocery store or the pharmacy, they come in 200 milligram tablets over the counter. So you can take 3 of them, no problem, if you're an adult. Other pain medications don't typically come in that form. I mean, you can have a Tylenol suppository that's 600 milligrams, but a suppository doesn't go